Hello students, good morning. In this video, I am going to explain about AWT. AWT stands for Abstract Window Toolkit. This AWT is a package given in Java which contains set of classes that are useful for developing graphical user interface. Here, graphical user interface means it may be an icon or window or menu or anything which interacts easily with the people. For example, in today's world, small kids are also operating the mobile phone very easily because of icons like game icon or WhatsApp icon, etc. Here, icon communicates more efficiently than a normal text. So, to develop any application in a more attractive way, we can use this graphical user interface. What is this abstract? Actually, this AWT contains abstract classes. Abstract class means wherever they run, they look like a native application. That's how they don't have their own look and feel. The look and feel depends on the local operating system. And window. Window means it is a user interface to show the components like buttons or drop-down lists, etc. Calculator in our system is the best example for this window-based applications. This is the hierarchy of AWT. That means these are the classes available in AWT package. Here, this component is the parent class to all the classes. And this button class, canvas class, checkbox class, choice class, label class, list class, scroll bar, text component, all these are the derived classes of this component class. And if you see this container, so this container is a derived class of component, but it acts as a parent class to the panel class and window class. And again this window class acts as a parent class to the dialog class and frame class. Here everything you see on the display in Java application is a component like button, text field, label, etc. So if you see this image, so all these are the components. It may be a label or button 2 or button 3, frame, panel, all these are components. Mostly we are using this frame class to hold the components. And sometimes we can use panel class also to place the components. But here the difference between frame class and panel class is the panel doesn't contain title bar and menu bar, but frame contains title and menu bars. So these are the methods to create a frame in our program. So first method is add method. To add any component into the frame, we should use this add method. For example, if I want to add one label, then I have to use this add method to add the component into the frame. Coming to the next one, set size. This method is used to set the size of the component, and this set size method has two parameters, width and height. Third one is set visible method. Set visible method is used to show the components on screen. Default value of set visible method is false. To display the component on screen, we must change the set visible method value as true. Then only those components are visible for us. Now the last method is set layout method. This method is used to arrange the components in a particular manner. Let me show you important classes that represents the layout manager. These classes are used to change the arrangement of components. Let's see one by one. The first one is Flow Layout Manager. This Flow Layout Manager is the default for panels. It lays out components one after the other until it runs out of the row. Then it starts a new row of components. See this picture. So all the components are placed in a single row. If it is end of the row, then only it starts a new row to place the new components. Now coming to the second one, Border Layout Manager. This Border Layout Manager is the default for frames. It divides the container into 5 regions like north, south, east, west and center. When you add a component, you can specify which region you want to place the component. See this picture. Here frame divided into 5 parts: north, west, center, east and south. We can place our components based on our requirement. If you want to place the component in center, we can choose center alignment, or if you want to place the component in north, we can choose north alignment, like that. Now coming to the third one, grid layout manager. This grid layout manager is ideal when you want to create a grid of identically sized components. See this picture. Here all the grids are equally sized, so we can place our components in any one of the grid. Now the next one is grid bag layout manager. This layout manager uses a more flexible grid than the grid layout manager does. In grid bag layout, each row or column can be different size. A component can span 2 or more rows or columns, and you can tell the layout manager what to do if the component is smaller or larger than the space allotted for it. See this picture. Here, each grid size is different. It may be row wise or it may be column wise. The size is different. If you compare these two layout managers, grid layout manager, grid bag layout manager. In grid layout manager, all the grids are identically sized. In grid bag layout manager, all the grid sizes are different. So we can use any one of the layout manager to place our components. Coming to the last one, is a card layout manager. This object treats each component in the container as a card. Only one card visible at a time. So this is the example to create a frame. So in the first line is import java.aw.star. To create a frame, first of all we have to import all the necessary packages into our program. So for that reason we have imported all the AWT related interfaces and classes. And the next line is our class name is frame creation, and it is a derived class of frame. So here whenever you want to create a frame, compulsory your class must be a derived class of frame class. So that's the reason I have written the statement as class frame creation extends frame. Now this part is constructor part. So here frame creation, it is a constructor to initialize the values. So here set size method, it is used to set the size of the frame. Here frame width is 400 and frame height is 200. In the next line set title method, it is used to give the title to the frame. So my frame title is my application. And the next method is set layout method. I already told you about layout manager. So here there is no layout manager here, just layout manager value is null. That means presently I don't want to add any component, so I didn't specify any layout manager here. And the next one is set visible method. This set visible method by default false. So if the set visible method value is false, it will not show the frame. So compulsory whenever you are creating a frame, compulsory the set visible method parameter must be true. Then only we can see the frame in our screen. And this is the main method, and this is the object creation to our class. So when I execute the program, it will display this frame in our screen. This is the frame, and my frame title is my application. Now I will explain about some important components. First one is label component. Label class is used to create a label which can be used to display a text information to the user, or a text before the text field, or an image. Here these are the label constructors. In the first constructor label, this constructor is used to create an empty label, and the second constructor is used to create a label with a text. In the last constructor it is used to create a label with a text and alignment. So here alignment means it may be left or right or center. I'll show you an example. This is the example. So here first of all I have to import AWT packages or AWT classes into our program, and then I already told you that whenever you are creating a frame, compulsory the class should be a derived class of frame class. So class frame extends frame class. And this is the constructor part. Frame creation is the constructor. So in this, these 4 lines are common to create a frame. To set size, frame width 400, frame height 200, and the frame title is My Application. And here I am using Flow Layout Manager. So Flow Layout Manager is used to place the components one after the other. And here compulsory this set visible method parameter must be used only, otherwise we can't see the frame. And here in this statement I have created an object to the label. So here label is a class and this is called constructor. So what type of constructor it is? It is a label constructor with a text. So what is the text here? This is a label. Now I'll add this object to the frame by using add method. This add method is used to add the components into the frame. And this is the main method and this is the object creation to the class. So when I execute the program, this will be the output. So here this is a label. Push button or button can be created by using the button class. Here these are the constructors. So first constructor is used to create an empty button and the second constructor is used to create a new button with specified label. Let's see the example. So here first steps are common here. These steps, import statement, and our class must be a derived class of frame class and constructor. Set the size of the frame, set the title of frame, and the layout manager is flow layout manager, and set visible must be blue. Now we have to create an object to the button class. So here I have created an object, v1 object, v2 object, and v3 object. That means I am creating 3 buttons. And this is the button constructor. So what type of constructor it is? It is button with specified label. Here specified label is red. The next button specified label is green. The third button specified label is blue. Now I am going to add all these buttons into the frame by using add method. Add button 1, add button 2, add button 3 to the frame. And this is the main method and this is the class application. So when I execute the program, this will be the output. So here also I have used this flow layout manager. So this flow layout manager will place all the components one after the other only. Checkbox. Checkbox class is used to create a checkbox control which contains a box that can be checked or unchecked by clicking on it. And these are the checkbox constructors. It creates a checkbox with no text on it. The second constructor creates a checkbox with a text and this checkbox is unchecked by default. And the third constructor creates a checkbox with a text. This checkbox is checked or unchecked depending on the boolean value. Now we'll see the example. So in this, import AWT classes and resources, and this is the constructor. Here I have created an object to the checkboxes. So this is the constructor, checkbox constructor. So here I have created a checkbox with a text. The text is male for the checkbox 1, female for the checkbox 2. Now I am adding checkbox 1 and checkbox 2 into my frame by using add method. Add of C1, add of C2. These two statements are used to add these two checkboxes into the frame. When I execute the program, this will be the output. So this is checkbox 1, this is checkbox 2. And here also my layout manager is flow layout manager. So it will place the components one after the other. Now the next component is text field component. Text field class is used to create a text field control which allows a user to enter a single line text, and these are the constructors. So first one is used to create empty text field, and the second one is used to create a text field with a specified width, and the third constructor is used to create a text field with a specified default text, And the fourth one is used to create a text field with a specified default text and width. Now we'll see the example. The first statement, as usual, import AWT package into our program and create our class as a derived class of same class. And here I have declared this label object, my label, and this is the constructor, and this is frame size, frame title, layout, and visibility. Now I have created an object to the label. So my label is equal to new label, enter name. In the next line I have created an object to the text field. So here what type of constructor it is? Text field with a specified width. Now add my label object to the field and add text field object to the frame. My label is enter name and this is a text field to enter the text. Text area class. Text area class is used to create a multi-line text area which allows a user to enter the text in multiple lines. These are the text area constructors. The first constructor is text area. It creates a new text area with an empty string. The second constructor, it creates a new text area with specified number of rows and columns. Here row means height and column means width. And the third constructor is text area of string. It creates a new text area with a specified text. Fourth constructor creates a new text area with a text and a number of rows and columns. And the last constructor creates a new text area with a specified text, row, column and scroll bar. Here value of scroll bar can be both, that means vertical and horizontal, or none, that means no scroll bar or only horizontal. So we can choose any one of them. This is an example. So in this first we have to import AWT package and create our class as a derived class of frame class, and my frame is a constructor. Here set the size of the frame, set the title of the frame as my application, set layout manager as flow layout manager, and set visible method compulsory true. And now we have created an object to the text area. In this text area constructor I have specified the number of rows and columns. So here row means height of the text area and column means width of the text area. So this is the height and this is the width of the text. And add this text area object to the frame. So now when I execute the program, this will be the output. So we can enter any text field. Now we'll move to the next slide. Choice component. The object of choice class is used to show pop-up menu of choices. Choice selected by user is shown on the top of the menu. So here in this choice component we have only one constructor, that is choice constructor. So let's see an example. So here import AWT package and these are common to create frame, and now create an object to the choice component. Here choice component object is C. Now by using add method, add the choices like item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5, and then add this choice object to the frame. Now when I execute the program, this will be the output. So here choice selected by the user is shown on the top of the menu, that is item 4. Scroll bar component. The object of scroll bar class is used to add horizontal and vertical scroll bar. These three are the constructors of scroll bar component. First one is scroll bar. It constructs a new vertical scroll bar. Second constructor constructs a new scroll bar with the specified orientation. Here orientation means horizontal or vertical. We need to specify it. Third constructor constructs a new scroll bar with specified orientation, initial value, and minimum and maximum values. Here, this parameter specifies the scroll bar to be horizontal or a vertical scroll bar. This parameter specifies the starting position of the knob of scroll bar on the track of scroll bar. This parameter specifies the width of the knob of scroll bar. This parameter specifies the minimum width of the track on the scroll bar node. This parameter specifies the maximum width of the track. This is the example. So import java.awt and create a derived class with a frame class and create a constructor. Inside of this constructor, set the size, title, layout, and now create an object to the scroll bar. So here I have created an object to create a vertical scroll bar. Add this object to the frame by using a add method. When I compile the program, this will be the output. So this is the scroll bar and it is vertical scroll bar. Event handling. Event handling is a mechanism that controls the event and decides what should happen if an event occurs. First, we have to understand what is event. Change in the state of object is known as event. For example, when you press a button in your program, the state of button changes from unclicked to clicked. This change in the state of our button is called as an event. Events are generated based on how you interact with the GUI. For example, entering some text through the keyboard, moving your cursor, scrolling, etc. generates events. The events can be broadly classified into two categories. First one is foreground events. These events require direct interaction of the user, like clicking on a button, moving the mouse, entering a character through a keyboard, selecting an item from list, scrolling the page, etc. Coming to the second one, background events. These events require the interaction of the end user, for example, operating system interrupts, hardware or software failures, etc. Now the next point is delegation event model. Java uses the delegation event model to handle the events. In this model, a source generates an event and sends it to one or more listeners. Here, source is a component object on which the event occurs, and it provides information about the event to the listener. And here, this event listeners or event handlers have the responsibility to handle events occurring at the source. But first of all, it must be registered with an event source, and it must be implemented method to receive and process notifications about specific type of event. For example, when you click on a submit button component, then it generates event object. That event object is called action event. Then that action event send it to the action listener. Then action listener will respond to that event by displaying a text like thank you for submission or your application submitted successfully, etc. Here listeners are interfaces and different type of listeners are used according to the event. Now I will show you some important events and their related listeners. So these are the different kinds of events and their listeners. The first one is action event. An action event is generated when a button is clicked or a list item is double clicked or menu item is selected. To handle this action event, we need to implement action listener interface. The second one is key event. A key event is generated when a key on the keyboard is pressed, released, or typed. These events are handled by implementing key listener interface. Third one is item events. An item event generated when the user clicks on a checkbox or clicks a list item or select or deselect a checkable menu item. These events are handled by implementing item listener interface. Now the next event is mouse event. The mouse event is generated when the user generates a mouse event on a source. Mouse events are handled by mouse motion listener interface. Here all the listeners are interfaces, so we can implement multiple interfaces in one single class. Now let's see one example using event handling by implementing a action listener. This is the example. In the first line we have to import AWT packages, and in the second statement we have to import event related classes and interfaces. And in the third statement, our class must be a derived class of main class. At the same time, it should implement one listener and that listener type is action listener. So our class, myFrame class, extends with a frame class. At the same time, it implements action listener interface. Now declare a text field object here, and this is a constructor, myFrame constructor. So here set the size, frame size as 300, width 300, height 300, and the title is my application, and here layout value is null only, and set visible method parameter value is true to display the frame on our screen. So now I have created a button object here with a text that is submit. And this set bounds method is used to set the boundaries to the button, like button width, length, height, and all. Now I am registering this button object with the action listener. So when I press this button, then this action listener will call this action performed method by passing the current object. So here I have used this. This refers to the current object. So what is the current object here? D1 is the current object. So when I press a button, then this action listener will send this object to the action performed method. Then this action performed method will perform the action. What is that action? This will set a text as thank you to the text field. Now add this object to this frame, and now I have created an object to the text field. And set bound method is used to set the boundaries to the text field also, and add the text field to the frame. So here this set text method is used to set the text to the text field. The text is thank you. Now this is the main method, and here I have created an object in the class. When I execute the program, it will show this first image. When I click on this submit button, then it will show this second image. Whenever we click a button, immediately that button object sent to the action performed method to perform some action. What is that action? It will display some text here that is thank you. So this is about AWT in Java. If you have any queries, you can send those queries to me. Thank you.